My name is Charlie Markham. I use he, him pronouns. I am one of the program managers in the on-site and special programs team at DOROT. Kay will share more about the organization, but I have been at DOROT for about 7 years and oversee our wellness programs and also some of our arts and cultural programs and a program called University Without Walls, which I'll share all about just a little bit later.
My name is Kay, like the jewelers. My pronouns are she, her, and I'm the outreach specialist here at DeRote. So I speak to folks in all sorts of different communities about who we are and how you can join us in one way or another. Let's dive right in. I'll tell you a bit more about us. So DeRote, if anyone speaks Hebrew, it is actually a Hebrew word for generations. So I get asked all the time, what is the acronym? It's not an acronym at all. It's the Hebrew word for generations. This is our building. We're located at West 85th Street on the Upper West Side. And we really consider ourselves dyed-in-the-wool Upper West Side culture in that we were founded by a group of graduate students from Columbia University, which is a huge part of the West Side. This is actually our 50th year in operation. So if you're on our email list or if you take a look at our website, one of these days, you're probably going to see a lot of bells and whistles around how proud we are of having snowballed from those graduate students 50 years ago into what we are today. So again, DeRote means generation. So there's a lovely photo here of a real match that we have of a younger individual and an older individual. And we want to bring people together. That's our mission. A lot of our mission is social connections, social relationships, getting in touch and involved with social fabric. And we want that explicitly for the older adult population. So when I say older adults, for us, that means 60 and older. That's what we define older adult as. However, as you can see from this younger individual, lots of people are in the fold with us, and they're on the other side of things as volunteers with DeRote and individuals who want to get engaged and involved with their older adult neighbors. So we have many different programs that all encourage the increase of folks' social fabric, and we do that in a number of ways. We have programs on site here at that building that you see right there. We have programs on the phone, over Zoom, and we actually do go in home to older adults in certain areas of Manhattan. We also go in home and have a smaller office in Westchester, in White Plains. So if any of you know folks from that area, we actually service the entire area of Westchester. So let me move along to how many people do we actually support? This is data from last fiscal year 25, which is also 12 months. It's just the start and end of those 12 months is a little bit different from January to December. We had 6,697 older adults participate with us over 88,000 times. What I find most interesting about how older adults engage with us is this pie chart to my right. That big yellow graph and that big orange graph represent folks who dial in over Zoom and over the phone. We only started Zoom programming in 2020 for the COVID lockdowns, and we were able to continue those programs based on people telling us they liked it, whether they live a block from DeRote or all the way in California. We even have people dial in from Israel and from London. This is a way to get folks engaged from home or really from anywhere. And of course, there are ways to get involved with us in person as well, as represented by that blue line. So same with volunteering. This is also from fiscal year 25. We talk about social connections, the importance of connecting with neighbors, and what better way to do that than volunteering, than donating your time to your neighbor. So many folks who are older adults, who are those people over 60, come to us from the other side as well. People over 60 also volunteer with us. That's really an open door. We say generations and we mean it. If we could have a 100-year-old volunteer with a 60-year-old, that's totally fine. Or an 18-year-old volunteer with a 70-year-old. As long as a generational gap is being bridged. If you're meeting someone you might not normally meet outside of your regular social circles, that's what we aim to do, and we know there's a lot of magic and power in that. So about 8,000 folks volunteered with us, and they contributed almost 50,000 hours of service. I mentioned earlier that we do go in home. That means we send volunteers to the homes of older adults to engage in programming, and I will get into specifics as well. Those are in certain areas of Manhattan. That means on the west side, from 59th to 125th, older adults can be serviced in home. And on the east side, from 14th to 96th, that's where in-home programs happen as well. If you're over 60 and you want some in-home programs, if you're curious about that, and you live outside of these areas, there's a couple things we can do. One, as you saw on that other slide, plenty of folks get involved with us on the phone and online, and Charlie can get more into what happens here on site. You can also come at it from the other end. You can volunteer to come into these areas. And finally, always give us a call. So let's say you're interested in our at-home friendly visiting program, but you live outside of these areas. If you give us a call, we can find if there's another friendly visiting program that's more relevant to your catchment area. My mom always said growing up, the worst thing they can say is no. We want to work with you. We want to help you out. We have a really incredible information and referral line if you were to call in to us, and we want to get you the services that you would want and need. I've mentioned a lot of programs at DOROT, and I feel like it might be helpful to mention what exactly they are. So I've divided that up into two categories for right now, and then Charlie can take it from there. What's available in home and what's available on the phone. Let's talk about ways that older adults are serviced in home. The first is a real hallmark program of ours. It's called Friendly Visiting. In this one, we match volunteers to older adults in those areas that you saw on the maps earlier on the east and west side of Manhattan and all of Westchester. The volunteer will visit either once a week or once a month, with one friendly phone call expected in between visits. And on these visits, folks bond. They get to know each other. They make a new connection. They make a new friend. That connection just so happens to take place in the home of the older adult, meaning that individual must be over 60. And again, any intergenerational age gap can be catered to. The great thing about friendly visiting is every match, I believe the social work term is dyad, if that sounds familiar to folks, is managed by a social worker, by a friendly visiting social worker. So there's always a layer of support with someone who has a degree in human relationships. So many folks come to me and they say, I already do friendly visiting. I knock on my older neighbor's door all the time. This is a way to scaffold and support that experience, just in case maybe you run into a question you don't know the answer to, or there's a layer of help you're not sure how to support. Those social workers can help you out with that. It's really a team effort. Really wonderful program. Next up is called Response Team, and that has that name because a cohort of volunteers is essentially responding to all sorts of kind of potpourri needs around the neighborhood. It's like a classified section in a newspaper. Everything from, can someone come over and help me read my mail? Can someone come over and grab a bag that's been in my closet that needs to be donated to Goodwill full of clothes? No problem, we'll send you someone. We even have people just go for walks in the neighborhood. We have people go on museum visits. One older person asked if they could look on her iPad together for a new pair of leggings from Lululemon. And the volunteer went over, they picked one, and then they went to the store together to try them on, which in my mind is just like a fun Saturday. From a volunteer perspective, if you're interested in a dynamic, like this and that kind of thing and practical help, response teams for you. Finally, we have in-home tech coaching. That means a volunteer would come to you, sit in your home, and show you how to use your phone, your iPad, your tablet, your Kindle. We actually do Kindles now, that's new. And we also do tech coaching at our offices, just in case you live outside of these areas. I'm going to move along now to what we have on the phone. One is called University Without Walls, and that's a series of classes over the phone. We have one-time classes. We have a series of classes. You could learn about art, science, technology, Jewish interests as well. DOROT is a Jewish organization, so we have plenty of opportunities for that in particular. And these are offered all year. And finally, I'm going to go to caring calls. Caring calls is really simple. It's like the friendly visiting I mentioned earlier, but all over the phone. So you'd be matched with an older adult if you were to volunteer, and you'd connect with them once a week for 30 minutes for 8 weeks. The beauty of caring calls is that you can be matched with someone outside of New York City because it's a phone program. People actually dial in from all over. So one example I'm thinking of is the volunteer lives in Denver. The older adult lives in New York City, and they've been talking for actually a few years. The minimum is 8 weeks, but folks can keep rematching. The volunteer is a nurse, and the older adult is a retired healthcare employee. So it became this mentor-mentee friend relationship that is all completely over the phone. And chit-chatting and connecting with someone for 30 minutes is a wonderful way to give back. It's very simple, and I can't stress enough, it's very important to connect and get to know our neighbors in a way that someone cares about them. I'm going to move along to Charlie, who's going to tell you a little bit more about on-site and special programs.
Thanks, Kay, for really a comprehensive view about DOROT. So as I mentioned, I'm Charlie Markham. I serve as a program manager for the on-site and special programs team at DOROT. So on-site and special programs is one of DOROT's public programming departments. We provide older adults with rich and varied learning and enrichment programs. And as Kay mentioned, those happen in person, online, and over the phone. And I'll go through all of the different portfolios. But our goal within on-site and special programs is to offer global perspectives. We are a Jewish organization and we maintain those roots, but we've grown to welcome people from all backgrounds, culturally and religiously. You are part of our community and we're happy to welcome you. We also want to build community. It's really central to the work that we do, combating social isolation and bringing people together. And then lastly, we really try to offer opportunities for lifelong learning and engagement, and we do that in so many ways. The on-site and special programs is a department with many portfolios. We offer about 1,500 programs a year through the 4 different portfolios that I'm going to share. The first one is our health and wellness and learning and enrichment programs. I happen to personally oversee those programs. Then we have our Aging Alone Together and Aging Well programs. Then we have our legacy arts programs. And finally, we have our Universe Without Walls, which Kay mentioned a little bit, but I will go into fuller details. And I have the pleasure of overseeing that portfolio as well. So our health and wellness programs are kind of bread and butter of our programs, the most recognizable sometimes for our community. So these programs are to support the whole person. We don't just think about one part of the person. We really think about mind, body, spirit, and not just the physical fitness. So in addition to movement, we also offer mindfulness courses. These experiences are really aimed to build social connection, joyful engagement. We do these online, in Zoom, in person, and over the phone. And these are always facilitated by trained instructors who have lots of experience and years of experience and are subject matter experts in the field that they're teaching. Just to mention, some of our classes are things like chair yoga or qigong or mindfulness meditation or stretch and strengthen. We have a Central Park walking club, and we have a fitness program, as you see in the picture on the right. That's our fitness program with the New York Road Runners. So lots of different programs in this health and wellness category. The next component is learning and enrichment. So these programs are really thinking about intellectual and cultural engagement and stimulation. We have author talks, we have museum outings, we have concerts, we have film screenings and various performances of all different kinds. So in that top right corner, you'll see a picture from a series on global music that we did. That performance was a mariachi band that came in and performed. We think about diversifying our programming with the facilitators and artists that we bring in. Many of these events involve distinguished artists, scholars, and partners from cultural institutions. So some of those partner institutions are places like Ballet Hispanico, the Paul Taylor Dance Company, the Met, the MoMA, or the New York Historical Society. And we just brought a group there the other day for the recent Gay Harlem Renaissance Tour, which was fantastic. I definitely recommend going and seeing it. We really see these programs as an opportunity to offer meaningful dialogue and community exchange, also enhance connections and shared reflection, and also a place and chance to learn more about people's cultures, history, and heritage. There's often dialogue connected to these programs. For instance, with this mariachi band, we got to talk to the artists, learn about the history of the music, the history of the instruments, and the culture behind the music. So it's not just performance, it's also really thinking about stimulating the mind and sharing cross-cultural exchanges as well. These are often in multiple formats. You can come in person, but a lot of our concerts we also stream online on Zoom as well and do it in a hybrid format. So if you're not able to join us, you can still engage. So the next portfolio is Aging Alone Together, which is really for community of solo agers, and we define that very broadly. This is a flagship program for DOROT for solo agers. That could be someone who is aging solo. They don't have a family support system, or they do, but they're not directly near them, or they're partnered and may expect at some point to lose a partner. So these programs are really about thinking about key life decisions, and these happen in small group discussion with expert video resources and then optional follow-on networking opportunities, providing peer learning and support. Once you go through this 6-week curriculum-based program. We also have an alumni group for you to continue the work that you start doing in the 6 weeks. Participants receive a workbook with resource guides to help them set priorities and plan actionable next steps towards aging confidently. And then finally, many people attend virtually from across the country. We've offered this with community partners. We've offered this solo. We've offered this in person. We've offered this online. So there's lots of ways to engage with this program and initiative. So our aging programs are a spin-off of our Aging Alone Together program. What it is, it's like the next step after you finish the Aging Alone Together program. We wanted to offer continuing education, community support to think about and bridge the topics that you touch on in the 6 weeks. So these are focused on practical, big decisions that come with aging, ranging from healthcare navigation, Medicare and Medicaid, housing choices, decluttering process, and also emergency planning. This includes evidence-based program called What Matters, which is a program that talks about end-of-life decision-making, and that happens with trained facilitators. And you're thinking about these advanced care planning conversations. What do you want the end of your life to look like? And putting in some real things to help make sure those decisions happen. These are delivered in large public events and also intimate workshops, creating both broad and deep learning opportunities. And it helps our community learn from each other while also hearing from experts, creating supportive community environment. People find that this is a great follow-up to start the work that you do in the Aging Alone Together program, because quite frankly, it could be really overwhelming to start thinking about these things. So it's important that you have continuity and follow-up to think about these decisions as you move forward.
If you're interested in volunteering and you're not sure where to start, you can also have a conversation with us. You can email volunteers@DOROTUSA.org. Let us know a little bit about yourself. We want to meet you where you're at. We have volunteers who come into the office and help us with clerical work. But we also have volunteers go with our walking group and make sure everyone's signed in. It's like a this and that situation. So if you're not sure where to begin, we can steer you in the right direction after we chat for a little bit.
The next thing is what we call our legacy arts workshops, which really think about creative expression and storytelling and also creative aging. Legacy arts is more than arts. It's about exploring personal and collective histories through creative expression. Our workshops vary really widely in this range. We have painting, we have poetry, we have photography, we have quilting, we have memoir writing, we have improv, we have storytelling, and these are all for beginners and more experienced artists. It's really aimed to foster confidence as well as skill development, creating a place where you can share your own legacy, thinking about who you were, who you are, and who you want to be in the future. And it really helps participants create tangible artifacts of their lives and their stories, both personally and legacy pieces for their family and community. And I'll mention with this, we have something called legacy projects, where you as a participant or as a volunteer can get matched up and work on for 6 weeks with your pair on creating a legacy project. And we've seen many varieties. We've seen oral stories, we've seen written stories, we've seen digital copies, we've seen websites created. So you work with your match to decide how you want that story to be told. So that is something that we also do as well. Then finally, University Without Walls is our 100% phone-based program. This is actually one of DOROT's longest running programs. It's been running since 1999, and it's always been a phone-based program. It's a program that we think really helps with equity and accessibility, because we notice that people in this community may be homebound, they may not have access to come into our physical location, and in these days, they may not have the technical ability or tools to be able to access online programs. So you can call into a program or be called into a program. We have dial-in programs and staff-connected programs where a staff will call you into your class 10 minutes or 15 minutes before, or you'll be given instructions to dial into a class. The topics really range widely. We have discussions on art, culture, current events, memory sharing, skill development, and peer groups. For instance, we have 2 peer groups on vision loss and 2 on grief. So you can always find out more information about those. These are facilitated by experts in cultural, medical, and education educational institutions as well as really skilled volunteers. We also often offer a Russian University Without Walls program, which is a smaller program, but it's for Russian-speaking older adults. Some of the courses are English learning classes, but there's also some cultural and like current events classes that are offered for those communities as well. So if you're Russian speaking or know someone who is interested in programs, you can send them our way. This telephone model really eliminates any technological barriers. So we find it as a great accessible entry point into engaging with community and programs. University Without Walls, I should mention, operates on a 3-semester basis. We have a winter-spring combined semester, then we have a summer semester, and then we have a fall semester as well. You can come participate in all of them if you'd like to. The phone number is 917-441-3718. That's the number you can call. And specifically, if you're interested in University Without Walls, that's a different number, but you can call that other number that I mentioned, and we can direct you to the University Without Walls team.
I was wondering, what kind of language access do you have available for people who might be primarily speakers of other languages?
Right now, we only offer the English or the Russian classes. We did have a partnership last year in Queens where we offered programs in Mandarin and also in Spanish. Our hope is to get some of those programs back so we can keep people informed. If you're looking for those programs also in a different language, we don't have them right now. DOROT has great resources and we're not afraid to share resources. We believe in you just come to us to do your program. So if we know other community partners, we're happy to share those resources as well. Because we really believe in wherever you can gain community and programs, we support that.
Yep, that's what this is all about. Make the connections.
Yeah.
We want to make sure that all our participants have access to every kind of service they may need. We love that this is available to them.
I should have mentioned that our programs are 100% free as well.
Yes.
Thank you so much for this opportunity. Great to be a part of your community.